Whenever we get an Cuso order, first email that comes through will say Cuso Home Lending, and then it'll tell you that a portal's been shared with you. You don't really do anything with this first email. This is just to let you know that you were to get a request for a Cuso order or some sort of message from Cuso. So I usually delete that one. The second email that comes from Cuso will be the actual request for order, and you can see here the Cuso processor that's placing the order. And then it immediately goes into the request for the order. So they're wanting 2 VOIs here, and then they give us the correct address for the first employer as well as the correct phone number. That's pretty common if the borrower doesn't provide that information in the 1003, which we'll get to in a second. If it's not there and it's not in the 1003, then we have to do a little bit of research on our end. Here's also another request. This may be for the co-borrower. Please also order a VOI for William's current employer. So altogether, there's 3 requests for VOI here. So once we get to the 1003, it'll make a little bit more sense. What we do from here is click where it says go to message. And we're going to sign into the Cuso thread. Now the password will be provided to you and it's updated every so often. It's required that we update it. So here it is. This is what's called the Cuso thread. And here is the thread of every Cuso order that we have in processing right now. But the most current is the one that we're working on, the top. Also, here's the loan numbers for each of those requests. The borrower name is the first 3 or 4, sometimes 5 characters of the borrower's last name associated on the file. And those are the 2 most important things. Everything else will say VOE. It doesn't distinguish between the order types in this thread. So I'm going to go ahead and open this back up. The first thing you do in order to input the Cuso orders, because they don't come to us in the researched and received queue like the rest of our orders do, so we have to input these on our own. So the first thing we're going to do, copy this first part for the first VOI, and you'll see why in a second. I'm going to hit preview submission. That's going to take us to our forms. This is the 1003 form for Miranda Potter. Here's our social, date of birth. If we keep scrolling down, here's our first current employer, Allen Agency. And then we go down to William. Okay, I am going to split my screen. What we need to do first, print these documents PDF separately. The only thing we don't need is that cover page. Page 2 is the 1003 for her, and page 3 is the 1003 for him. Page 4 is the BA. So we're going to do some custom printing here. Then we're also going to custom print his 1003. And then one more time. Go ahead and start with William. So we'll go over here to HD and we'll go to orders and we'll select new order. It's always going to stay personal. We're not doing any business verifications right now. The loan number will be this number right here. Social for William. Now you can put the full name right here in the middle name section, but whenever you actually complete the order, it's going to change it to just the first letter. Alliance partner down here is always NCS. This second one, you're going to type in Cuso. It'll always be the bottom Cuso Lending and not Cuso Home Lending Internal. Scroll to user. We stated before that Jordan was the processor that's ordering. Product field is required. VOE. You're always going to choose VOE. So here's the options: none, base, overtime, bonus, and commission. We're always going to choose base. Next. So here's where we upload those documents that we printed to PDF. So we're doing William first. So we're going to take his 1003. And we always need that borrower's authorization. It's for both of them. Then we're going to hit next. So order note, this is what the customer requested or anything that they typed in that initial email. I'm going to bring that back over. And since we decided to do William first, I'm going to copy. And then we're going to paste that comment here. So it tells us that the VOE order was submitted successfully. I'm going to go ahead and put in the other 2 orders like she requested. So let's go ahead. Since we've got that one put in, we're going to go back to new order. And we're going to go to the next request, which was, she says a VOI for current employer lot fee. We're going to go to the form for her now. And then we'll hit next. So she says to order VOI for current employer Lotfee Dennett and Co. Lotfee Dennett and Co. is not listed on here. If that employer is not listed on here, we go ahead and start typing out. Remember, she provided the address and phone number for Lotfee Dennett Co. in the original request, but she didn't provide any of the other information, position, title, dates of employment, anything like that. So we're just going to type in here, not provided. 0 income, monthly income type is going to be base. Okay, so here's what happens whenever you put in a request and they haven't been employed there for 24 months or more. They ask if you want to add more employment history. We're going to say no. For CUSO orders, even though they may submit multiple employers for one borrower, we enter those as separate orders. We don't ever combine them into one order. Here is where we upload our forms VA again. And now we have Miranda. So we need Miranda's 1003. We're going to hit next and enter those comments that I copied from there and copy and paste that address that she provided for the employer. And then I'm going to hit submit. Remember, the email also states, so this is from Miranda still. We're going to go to a new order, and now we're going to do previous for Allen Agency, even though the 1003 form says that that is their current employer. So if it was just a VOE or a VVOE on a previous, that's great. If you choose VOI, if you need income, the system needs to know which type of income you want. FNMA previous income, which is just going to give you employment and income. The only income information you will get is the hourly or salary rate of pay at the time of termination. So in other words, the last known rate of pay. FNMA full income is going to be that breakdown of earnings for the current and 2 previous years if possible. So we're going to choose full income because they said PIB. We're going to go next, browse files. We're still working with Miranda, so we need Miranda's 1003, and we need that POTS BA with both signatures. Next that I need that statement from the end user. I'm going to copy it from that email real quick and paste it here. Submit. So you have to be really careful when you get these requests, when you get these emails, to read the whole thing carefully and make sure you understand how many orders they're putting in. So then we're going to hit submission request once we have all 3 of those orders put in. After all orders have been put in, we're going to hit NCS processor assigned, and then we go to message and we say all 3 orders. And then I'm going to hit submit. Once you submit those orders, they should automatically go into the VOE processing queue. Well, the VOE received queue. So here's that last one. So now it's just the regular process for VOE.